And Zach, I am going to go with your, I guess, blue sky franchise right now. Not really, but at the moment, yes.
Yeah.
The Miami Dolphins. Fins up, baby. 3-0.
Fins up.
Ziggy, let's hear it, Ziggy.
Basically dominating the NFL in every offensive statistic. They go to Buffalo to take on Josh Allen and the Bills. The Bills team who has quietly really turned it on the past 2 weeks. So I think when you open up your newspaper Monday morning in Buffalo, you're going to see long live the Kings. The Kings of the AFC East, the Buffalo Bills, 3 years in a row right now. They have won that division. It's going to be a great game, Zach. Back and forth, just like last year, 3 games, Dolphins-Bills decided by 8 total points. Just amazing games, even with Skylar Thompson at quarterback in the playoff game. But at home in Buffalo, I'm going to go with the Bills. This team is just 38-10, 37-3 past 2 games versus the Raiders and Commanders. Most people, to me, can't get that image.
Like really hard teams.
No, I'm just saying most people can't get the image of them losing to the Jets on Monday Night Football out of their mind. But that was an anomaly. It was a 4-turnover game, 3 interceptions from Josh Allen. The whole 9-11 game with Rodgers, there was something magical about that for the Jets. Had to win that football game. This Buffalo team is really, really good. And at home, I like them a little bit over you. What do you guys say to that?
Yeah, I totally agree. So to start with the Dolphins, taking nothing away, they're one of the best teams in football.
Oh, they're great.
A team who can win the Super Bowl. I think they're a top 5 team in the league, hands down. It last week reminded me a bit of a spot where they were really out to get Denver. There was incentive to run it up because you don't score 70 points at this level unless you really want to and have it in for somebody. And they had it in for Sean Payton, and they ran it up on him. And now you go on the road to a division rival in the Buffalo Bills. It just reminds me of a spot where Buffalo is going to get them and remind them that this is our division. You're not with us yet.
I think they're with them.
Well, I'm saying what Buffalo's going to be thinking.
Oh, okay.
And let's defend our home field and show you that we're the Kings of the East. I think Buffalo gets them in a close game.
How about you, Ziggy?
I think it's weird that people aren't talking about this Bills defense, right? Over the course of 3 games, the Bills defense has given up 2 touchdowns. Right, this defense is one of the league's best. And the Dolphins, I'm not taking away from their incredible offensive performance. I think they have a great offense. But they haven't exactly had to play difficult defenses, right? They've had to play the Chargers, the Patriots, who admittedly are pretty good, and the Broncos, who have had an incredible defensive regression, right? This Dolphins team has not had to do something like go on the road into Buffalo with a hyped home crowd and face a strong defense. So I think Josh Allen is one of those guys. He likes to play to the level of his competition. When he's against a bad team, you can see Josh Allen making all sorts of mistakes. But when it comes down to it, when the game's on the line, he will execute. I really think that Josh Allen and the Bills have a good chance coming into this game. I think they're going to win.
It's funny, the Dolphins offense, all you're seeing in sports media is how good they are. And it's true. They lead the league in right now 43.3 points per game. I know 70 has a huge thing to do with that. But still, when I was looking at the stats and you see 43.3, kind of eye-popping. Yeah. Buffalo's actually second with 30.3, so great offenses going at it. But Miami also leads the league in total yards per game, yards per play, rushing yards per game, passing yards per game, red zone efficiency, plays of at least 20 yards, score percentage per drive. Basically every category, Zach, your offense is dominating. What I can't wait to see, though, is the Buffalo front line, D-line versus Miami, because this Bills team had 15 hits on Washington last week on Sam Howell, and 7 different defenders had at least 4 pressures.
They had 9 sacks.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. And Tua gets the ball out faster than any quarterback in the league. He's the quickest release. And that's something that the Dolphins were great at last year, too. We talked about intermediate throws to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle coming across the field. You get them in space, and they're off and running. It's like the greatest show on turf out here, or Showtime Lakers with this Dolphins team. I want to see how this Bills defense, who's allowing the second fewest points per game and second fewest yards per game, can they get to Tua fast enough before these crazy weapons? Is Waddle playing, by the way? Do you know, Zach? Do we know that yet?
You'll know tomorrow because Yeah, tomorrow because he's still technically in
Okay.
concussion
So by the time
protocol.
you're listening to this,
He fully practiced today, though, so I bet he's going to play.
projected points in fantasy. So I mean, I'd assume he's
Just to put it
He's
out there
trending
too.
upward.
This is crazy that we haven't said anything. And Ziggy said they've only allowed 2 touchdowns. He's played Zach Wilson, Sam Howell, and Jimmy Garoppolo.
And Jimmy G.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Those quarterbacks are non-existent. No wonder why they.
No, this is by far the biggest test for the Bills. I'm just going to wrap up this thought I had here because these stats. I love these stats. I know normally Ziggy is our stat guy, but Tua has only been sacked once this year, hit 5 times in 3 games. I think about Kirk Cousins, who basically I saw some tweet that was Kirk should change his name to
more than every play.
Kirk Cousins takes a sack. The Bills right now tied for QB sack, second in QB sacks with 12. And the number that you pay attention to is Tua's passer rating is 137.7 right now when he has a clean pocket. He just picks you apart. And it drops down to 57.7 when he's pressured. And I think about San Francisco getting to him last year when he made a couple mistakes. Will this D-line of Buffalo be able to get to him? That's the question. And really, I lean towards saying no. I just think Buffalo will win in a shootout.
I mean, this is a big-time prove-it game for the Dolphins.
Oh, gotta be the biggest statement game for them in years.
In years, yeah. Because right now they're 3-0. But this is a game now where if you can go and you can win this, the small doubters left are going to be like, okay, this team is here for real. Like, it is super on. But if you go up and now you get waxed
they
on
won't
the
get
road,
waxed. They're not going to get waxed.
They won't. I don't think they will either. But if you go up and you lose and you're clearly the worst team that day, people will be like, oh, Buffalo's still the team to beat.
Yep. And one last, sorry, Ziggy, go ahead.
I was going to say, like, the reason Tua doesn't get sacked, I think this is the good news if you're a Dolphins fan. It's not because the Dolphins' offensive line is great, right? I mean, the Dolphins' offensive line is sort of okay. But like, they haven't had Teron Armstead. The blocking hasn't been good. It's because Mike McDaniel is so good at figuring out what to do before the snap. Like, before the play even starts, Tyreek Hill is already running 20 miles an hour.
Yep.
Like, what are you supposed to do as a
Literally
defense?
20.
Like, you've got the flash out there, just like starting running behind the line of scrimmage. You know, it's like cornerback, you can't keep up with him if you get a head start. And instead he does. So it's going to be interesting to see how Sean McDermott, who's really taken over the defense for the Bills, is going to respond, right? Because it's not like the Dolphins offense is completely unbeatable. There's just, you need some innovation. And we sure won't see it.
Those guys doing all these crazy formations and schemes before the play.
You see the top 5 fastest ball carriers so far in the NFL this year have all been Dolphins.
Are they all Dolphins
It
players?
was like Hill, Waddle, A-Chain, Mostert. Yeah, they've all been Dolphins.
Wow. This is the game of the week by far. I can't wait to watch it. Like, we'll have to find some sort of plan, Zach, because this is...
Are you going to the bar, Zach?
I don't know. It's a good question.
You should. This is the biggest Dolphins
Go
game.
hang out with Zach at the bar. And,
yeah. And,
I don't know.
We won't drop places. DM me the account if you want information.
Yeah. The final thing before we move on to Ziggy's game. Josh Allen at home versus Miami. He's 8-2 overall, but at home, 5-0, 17 touchdowns, 112.7 passer rating, 37.4 points per game.
I think the home field ultimately on Sunday is what prevails for Buffalo.
I agree. But this is your chance, Zach, for the Dolphins. If they come in and win this game, and it is a big message to the entire league. Yeah. I don't think losing means that the Dolphins aren't a Super Bowl contender, but winning this game goes a long way in making people realize that this team is possibly the best in football.
We have Vic Fangio now.
You do.
You do. Winning this game, I may be ready to say the Dolphins are the best team in football.
Yeah. Oh,
and put them ahead of San Francisco. That's where I'd be at.
I'd love to see them play San Francisco again this year with that. The rematch.
Super Bowl.
Yeah.